Good evening. How are we all doing? A little bit delayed on my side getting going today. Little bit delayed, but hopefully we'll get up and running very, very soon. So just getting the dashboards into place. Dramatic start to this race. Hamilton and Russell coming together. So I'm literally just in the door, just caught the very start of the race, and I couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. I hate to get into pointing the finger at Lewis Hamilton because that always creates quite a strong reaction from people. But that was insane. He completely turned in on his teammate there. He should have given him a little bit more space, in my opinion. But yeah, it's a really tough one. I feel bad for his teammate Russell. He's up to 13th already though. We have the safety car's in. We have a team radio from George Russell. Let's have a listen to this just whilst everything is loading here. We should be up and going in a second.
Lost for words, honestly. Just seeing the replays on my TV screen. Couldn't do anything. Totally sandwiched.
Keep your head down. Keep it in this race.
Yeah, I know. It's... Lap one.
George, let's race now. Let's do the best out of it.
He was, quite rightly, he's really annoyed about this. Wow, what a start for the Mercedes. Flashbacks of, I tell you what that gave me a flashback of. It reminded me quite a bit of the incident between Hamilton and Verstappen at the British Grand Prix in 2021, but also flashbacks to, I think it was the Barcelona Grand Prix, where Rosberg and Hamilton crashed as well. Apologies, forgetting how to speak at this moment in time. All the excitement. There was me thinking, we had 3 safety cars in the space of 12 laps yesterday. It won't be exciting today. It won't be exciting. And, I was a little bit worried. It's like, I'm going to be late for the stream. I was like, don't worry about the stream. Nothing exciting is going to happen at all. And of course, all the excitement happened. We're on lap 9 now, so we're quite deep into the race as it stands. Verstappen is leading. Piastri now is up into second place. So good going for Piastri. This has worked out well for him. Alonso is into third. He started in fourth, so he's only up 1 position. Actually, if we look at that, so Piastri's up 4 positions from where he started. Then we've Leclerc in fourth. Come on, Leclerc. Unfortunately, there was a fuel issue, I think, with Sainz's car. So he didn't even start the race. He did not even start the race. Oh. Let me see. Anne, welcome back to the channel, Anne. Yes, okay. I like it. I like it. So your suggestion of this track limits issue that we're having, and actually track limits came into play yesterday after the race. I think, was it Leclerc got penalized after the race? So it was absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I'll keep saying that as a Ferrari fan. But anyway, reduce their DRS for a lap. That could work. I'd be curious to know how much time they make up under DRS. I think it could be less than a second. But what happens if you don't have DRS? I think there's the big question. But I definitely like the line of thinking on this one, actually. I like it. There are penalties that could be implemented. I'm secretly hoping that they actually get rid of DRS when they bring in the 2026 regulations. I haven't heard that they are getting rid of DRS, but it would be good if they did. It would be good. It does add to the excitement a little bit, but I find now the cars can race so close together that, you want a genuine overtake. You want mid 1990s overtaking or the early noughties. And yeah, there were a lot of boring races, so maybe I do need to be careful what I wish for on that one. Verstappen now has a 2.4, let's see, is it 2 point, yeah, it's 2.5 second lead as it stands right now. Alonso then is 2.7 seconds behind Piastri. Then Leclerc, the main man himself, is running in fourth, 1.1 seconds behind Alonso. Ocon 2.4 seconds behind Leclerc. Norris 1.1 behind Ocon. Gasly 1.3 behind Norris. Hulkenberg 3.1 seconds behind Gasly. Albon 9/10 of a second behind Hulkenberg. And Russell then, he's up into 10th, and he's only 7/10 of a second behind Albon. So he's right back into this. And there are going to be a lot of pit stops in this race. A lot of pit stops. So they've been mandated to do 3 stops, per my understanding. I think a lot of them now have already taken that. Well, not a lot of them. A good few of them have taken a stop already behind the safety car. Somebody's in the pits now. It's Ocon. Ocon is in the pits. Wow, look, he's dropping down the order here. Dropping down the order. Team radio now for Oscar Piastri.
So this is good, Oscar. Let's keep opening that gap. Let's go with Verstappen.
Yep, let's go with Verstappen. Exactly. Well, 2.4 seconds behind Verstappen, but you know, he's in the mix for the win today. Still debating with myself whether or not it's a true win if you win a sprint race. It's a great achievement, don't get me wrong, but it's not really his first win in Formula 1, is it? Not a main Grand Prix win. I don't know. I'm very on the fence about how I feel about that. Very much so. But interestingly, doesn't it break the Red Bull and Ferrari dominance on the season? Well, Ferrari have won 1 race this season. Red Bull have won every other race. But now we have a McLaren has won one of the sprint races. So a little bit of a differentiator, which is kind of what we wanted. And maybe we'll see something like that next season. Maybe it'll be a lot tighter. Of course, you know, wishful thinking here. Now, Logan Sargent team radio. It's not going to play for some reason. All right, we can skip that one. Nico Hulkenberg.
I don't know, consider maybe the hard. Check how the hard is for this.
Okay, he's considering the hard. We have Alonso and Gasly both in the pits at the moment. 2.5 second stop there for Gasly. Ferrari and Red Bull battling here. So that's Perez, I guess. That's not a Ferrari. Oh, this always happens to be at the night races. It's Bottas and Zhou. It's the Alfa Romeos. That's caught me out a few times this season that it looks like a Ferrari. It's not a Ferrari. It's got a Ferrari engine in it though. So, you know, walks like a duck, talks like a duck. Just ain't quite a duck in this case. Who? I saw somebody has just come into the pits. Pit out Gasly. No, I must have imagined it. There's nobody else in the pits right now. Let me see. The top 9 are running on the medium tire. Russell, of course, has pitted, but he started on medium and he has put on medium tires since that incident with his teammate. And Perez is running on the hard tire, so he started the race on the hard tire. We have Bottas now is on the soft tire, so that's what he put on after running on the medium tire initially. Stroll is on his second set of medium tires for this race. And then we have Bottas is on the medium tire. He started on the soft. So everybody who started on the soft took an opportunity behind the safety car to switch to a medium or hard tire. Liam Lawson also on the hard tire. A bit of action now. Piastri and Leclerc have both pitted. Where are they going to come back out on the track? So Piastri looks like he's just behind Lawson. Yeah, just behind Lawson on the track. But Lawson has already pitted, so that's exactly for position. So Lawson is ahead of Piastri now. It's an undercut. Kimi, good to see you too. How are you doing? I dare say this is a very late / early race for you today. Very challenging hours. Perhaps let me do a little bit of math here. So I'm guessing it's about an 11-hour difference. Like 6:35. Is it like 5:30 a.m. in the morning? Am I wrong? Am I right? That's dedication. But you know, you have Piastri. He did fantastically yesterday. Here's Norris is into the pits now as well. Now, where is Norris going to come out? So Norris is in second at the moment. He's just about to get swallowed up now by a whole bunch of cars here. But does Norris come out ahead of Piastri? Could that happen? We're about to find out. There's Piastri now getting past Lawson. And yeah, he's ahead of Norris. And Norris will come out ahead of Leclerc, will he? No, just behind Leclerc. Oh, that was a tight one. There are going to be plenty of stops here. 4:27 a.m. Oh my goodness. 4:27 a.m. That is dedication if ever I see it. That is dedication. Right. Okay, so I see in the chat somebody has sent us a link. What's that all about? What is that all about? Okay, I see what it's all about. Right. There was an onboard with, was that Stroll? Or was that Alonso? Russell is up into second place. And he's already pitted, you know. He has already pitted. Are we having a slight issue here? No, the tracker is working. Okay. Okay, I was wondering about that. Now, Russell is in the pits again. Huh. Okay, what have they put on him this time? Looks like those are the medium tires. It's hard to tell from here. If they zoom in closer on the car, we'll see. And so he's going to drop down a good bit again. So we're now running with well, Verstappen hasn't pitted yet, so he's clearly leading the race. Albon is in second, Perez is in third, and Zhou is in fourth. None of those guys have pitted. Then out of all the cars that have pitted, Bottas leads. Of course, Bottas pitted behind the safety car. It's clear that the pace is strong, so let's really try to make sure we use that for the next stop. That was just a message to Piastri there. Team radio for Joe.
Just pedal 4, pedal 4.
Pedal 4. Well, no idea. I have no idea. And here's Perez getting the move on Zhou for third place. Okay, so that's Perez up into third place. An amazing 17 place gain from the start of the race. 12th to 3rd. He's actually ET Ranger. Welcome back. I signed in late and have watched Checo climb from 12th to 3rd due to others into the pits. Were his first 9 laps without incident. Well, his first 9 laps were without incident. I can't say the same thing about everybody else. But he's up a grand total of 17 places from the start of the race, believe it or not. He will be pitting. Well, I don't know how soon he's going to pit, because he's one of the few cars that actually started on the hard tyre, but he will be pitting at some point. Yes, well, of course, we had a crash between Hamilton and Russell. Hamilton, he didn't leave a lot of room, I would say, for his teammate. And I haven't seen anything actually from the marshals in that one, but I assume they're going to find Hamilton didn't leave enough space. But that remains to be seen. Now, Verstappen has a lap 16. He has a 22.9 second lead, so it's looking ominous already. He hasn't pitted, of course, and I think I read somewhere the pit lane here is about 24 seconds. You lose about 24 seconds in the pit lane here, so you know he doesn't have the free pit stop just yet on the track, but he's very close to it. It's up to 23 seconds now, so he's getting there. He is definitely getting there. Okay, they're going to box Max Verstappen on this lap.
Okay, Max, this is your last lap. We are boxing this lap. Box this lap.
Yep, there we just heard the confirmation. I thought Checo qualified higher than 20th. Did he get penalised? That's a good question. Did he get penalised? He couldn't have gotten penalised for the collision yesterday, because I didn't think he was responsible for that at all. I'm going to check that out. Actually, believe it or not, I also joined late today. Alright, Planet Formula 1. I have so many different websites that I look at to get my information. Don't trust any of them though. Don't trust any of them. If I Nico Rosberg suffering. No immediate information coming to me here. Here we go. FIA punish Red Bull for rule breach with Sergio Perez set for a triple penalty. Sergio Perez's weekend of woe has continued, with Red Bull found to be in breach of Formula 1 regulations after a chassis rebuild. And that is why he started back there. So he would have started in 19th, I guess, since Sainz didn't start the race. Sainz was retired from the race before it even started. Now, Albon leads the race. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? Albon leads the race. Well, I never get to do this, so I'm going to enjoy this for a second. Albon, race leader. Look at that. You're not going to see this graphic again. Checo started from the pit lane. Thank you for confirming, Kimmy. Yes, I did hear that somebody was starting from the pit lane, so that makes a lot of sense. So that would have, yeah, he still started in 19th. Albon, he gets the message for box. So it isn't going to last for too long, but Alex Albon leads the race. Here's Oscar Piastri on Valtteri Bottas. I was about to say on the Ferrari again. Keep catching me out with that one, so they do. They really do keep catching me out on this one. Anyhow. Yeah, a triple breach on the regulations then for okay, Lance Stroll getting team orders to let Fernando by. Well, Lance won't like that. He'll beat up a few mechanics later because of this. It's alright, I'm joking. Yeah, so it was because of the repair that Red Bull did on a second chassis. Well, they actually had to use a second chassis for Perez. Alright, well, that was great whilst it lasted, but Alex Albon unfortunately no longer leads the race. We now have Max Verstappen, our familiar friend, back in first place. World champion 2023. Max Verstappen now leads the race, and he has a 7.9 second gap over Piastri. So in this case, the undercut worked. Now, Piastri didn't help. He had to battle a number of cars on the track when he came out from the pits, whereas it looks like Verstappen has been running in clear air for a relatively long time. There's Alonso getting past his teammate. Looked pretty easy. Stroll did not stop him. And then we have the battle between Norris and Leclerc. And Norris gets it done. So that's Norris then up into 6th place. I'll tell you, we're going to have our work cut out for us today, trying to figure out what tires people are on and when they're changing and everything else. There was an option on the dashboard as I was putting it together to show the history for 3 sets of tires or 6 sets of tires. And I figured with everything that's going on this weekend, we might as well just put on the history tracker for 6 sets of tires. Hopefully nobody uses the full allocation of 6 tires, but you know, stranger things have happened in Formula 1, that's for sure. I don't think there's any team in there that actually has 6 sets of tires that they could use at this point of the weekend, but you'd never know. And there's Alonso up into 3rd. He gets past Bottas. Bottas, of course, pitted behind the safety car and hasn't pitted since then. Russell, let me see. Yeah, Russell is the only person that has pitted twice so far in this race. I'm a little bit confused as to why he pitted again so soon after pitting earlier on. But yeah, maybe we'll never find out. We'll find out after the race. Here's a team radio then for Max Verstappen.
It will come to you.
Yep. Just listening to an interview with Lewis Hamilton at the moment. Okay, well, in fairness to him, Lewis Hamilton says he's happy to take responsibility for the collision with his teammate. I think initially when he came on the team radio, he was pointing the finger at his teammate, but of course, you know, that's in the heat of the moment. So yeah, I think it's perfectly normal. I'm not a Formula One driver, but I'm sure if I was in that situation, I'd be blaming everybody else apart from myself. But now, you know, things have calmed down a little bit. He's probably had a chance to see a replay as well. Okay, it's just come up on my screen here. I can read you a quote of the interview. I just feel sorry for my team. There was an opportunity today to get some good points. I felt the tag from behind, and I don't think George had anywhere to go. I'm happy to take responsibility. It's massively gutting. It's rare this happens to me. Yeah, look, in fairness, it is rare it happens to him, but it's not rare that Hamilton does a move like this where he tries to overtake somebody and closes the door straight away. And we've seen it work and not work to various extents over the years. But look, he's taken responsibility for it, and I think that's fine. I think it's sensible that he's taken responsibility as well. And considering it was a collision with his own teammate, hopefully the FIA aren't going to penalise him too heavily for it either. Oh, there's Russell now getting run off the road by Gasly, by the looks of it. Yeah, Gasly didn't leave a car's width there. He pushed me straight off. Well, it wasn't straight off now, George. Not straight off, but it wasn't great. Here's a team radio for Alonso.
Okay, Fernando, we are.
Yeah, copy.
Now, well, and asking the tough questions as ever. Is Stroll in danger of a nosebleed? What is he doing so high up? Well, sixth is quite high for. Oh, he's dropping down the order as I speak. He's in the pits. He was quite far up at 10 positions from the start of the race or something before he went into the pits. But that puts him now on 2 pit stops. I think he was one of the cars that pitted behind the safety car. And you can see, he'll be another one that's filling up the tracker now with tire history. And that's Sonoda getting past Albon for 10th place. Just there as well. Now, what else is happening? Perez is running in 9th. Russell is in 8th. Russell's still battling with Gasly. It's 0.3 of a second, the gap between them. Then it's Ocon that's ahead of his teammate. Leclerc then is in 5th. Norris 4th. Alonso 3rd. Piastri 2nd. And Verstappen in 1st place. So I think the big question here is, can Perez make his way through the field? I don't know. I'm not totally convinced. I'm really not totally convinced on this one. But black and white flag for Albon, exceeding track limits too many times. There we go. I feel like there's a penalty coming for him at some point. And Piastri also has had a time deleted for exceeding track limits. Okay. Perez, though, as I say it, he's setting the fastest lap here. Yeah. He's just set the fastest lap. He's in 9th. Russell has gotten past Gasly. It's a nice move there to get it done. And his teammate then, well, not Russell's teammate, Gasly's teammate, Ocon, is next up for him. That Mercedes looks good, actually. It does look good. They have got a bit of speed here. A bit of speed. And they did okay yesterday in the sprint race as well. The mixed strategy with the tyres, of course, but it worked out for George. He finished ahead of his teammate, even though if it was a few more laps, I think Lewis would have had him, just because of the soft versus the medium tyre. And team radio then for Oscar Piastri.
And Oscar, we're on 2 strikes now. Track limits. Last lap turn 16.
Yeah. We're going to have a lot of this in this race. We're only 23 laps into a 57 lap race as well. So I do feel there is a danger here of a lot of time penalties being handed out. Personal best first sector there for George Russell. No, it's not. It's not. It's the gap. It's the gap. Oh, actually, he has set a personal best first sector, 32.3. His second and third sector, though, aren't better. What's the gap between Verstappen and Piastri? 7.9 seconds at the moment. So, unless something happens to Verstappen, I don't think Piastri is going to be winning today. But we'll let that play out as we always do. We'll let it play out. Now, Alex Albon, Team Radio, he's not happy, I can tell you that. He thinks he's going slower on this set of tires than he did on the previous set.
Give me an update, what's going on?
Yeah, give me an update, what's going on. He wants to know why he's lost speed. He's on the medium tire. He has the same tires he started with as well, so don't know. I don't know what's going on. It could just be that particular set of tires doesn't suit the car. Where are the battles at the moment? Well, Russell closing in on Ocon is, I think that's the main one we want to watch. So he's 0.8 of a second now. Black and white flag for Sergio Perez for track limits. There we go. There we go. So that's 2 cars now with a black and white flag that I'm aware of. Fastest lap for Sergio Norris. No, for Lando Norris. Sergio Norris and Lando Perez. What? I like that. I like that. Joe is actually 0.5 of a second behind Sargent as well. Yeah, they're going to show us this. Here he goes. He has DRS open. But in a straight line, can that Alfa Romeo get past? No. And they're calling Piastri into the pits again. So this will be Piastri for his second pit stop of the race. Of course, everybody is doing 3 stops today. So, yeah, it's all going to feel a bit sudden. It's going to be very difficult, actually, just to keep track of where everybody is. Interestingly, look at the AlphaTauris running 17th and 18th. Tsunoda and Lawson, second last and last place, respectively, for the runners in the race at the moment. Stroll all the way down in 15th, whilst his teammate is in 3rd. This is becoming a really, really big issue with Aston Martin, I think. So Anne asks a question. I did ponder this actually, Anne, before I started. So I was starting in a rush. I was like, will I change it? Will I change it? I was like, no. Okay, so who's going to win this race? Verstappen. Verstappen's going to win the race. Who do I want to win the race? Well, actually, I really want Piastri to win the race because I want to be able to legitimately say that he's properly won a Grand Prix now, a full Grand Prix, a full fat Grand Prix, if you know what I mean. And then my wish for the win. Who do I have for my wish? If it's Alonso, then I'll go with that. If it's not Alonso, wish Piastri, dark horse Alonso, yeah. Okay, I'll stick with Alonso for my dark horse as well. So exact same as yesterday. And let's not forget, my wish for the win yesterday was Piastri, and he did win. So, do I get 2 wishes? That's the question. Alonso is into second place now because Piastri has pitted. Let's see, Piastri came back out in 8th place, so he's just behind Albon at the moment. How close to Albon is he? Just looking at the tracker here. Yeah, he's right behind him. Right behind him. Oof. Fernando Alonso's seat is burning.
Anything we can do at the pit stop? Yeah, the seat is burning, man. Anything we can do at the pit stop? Throw me water or something.
Understood, Fernando. We'll have a think if we can do anything. It's going to be difficult.
5-second penalty for Sergio Perez for exceeding track limits. So we know he had the black and white flag. Alonso's in now. Let's watch this. They have to get the garden hose out here to spray him down because he's on fire, he says. His ass is on fire. The seat is too hot. What are they going to do? I don't see anybody pouring water on him. No, they did nothing. They brought out the leaf blower for a second, I think. they can only do 18 laps on their tires. Maybe the win will come down to the pit crew's performances. You'd never know. You'd never know, Kimmy. Yes. It's it's a weird one. It's a weird one this weekend with the issues they're having with the curbs and the tires. I completely understand the safety reasons behind this. It's a 5-second penalty for Perez, by the way. It's just come up on the screen. I don't know if anybody else remembers Indianapolis back in 2005. Maybe was it 2005? That was the one where the Michelin tires, I think it was the Michelin tires, had an issue with the banking in Indianapolis, and all of the Michelin cars withdrew from the race, and that left a grand total of 6 cars in the race. So at least that hasn't happened this weekend. Of course, all cars now are on the same tire manufacturer, so that would have meant all cars withdrawing from this race. So they definitely had to find some kind of solution here. But the funny thing is that this apparently was an issue back in 2021 as well. So it's a little bit surprising that we've been caught out by this again. There's Norris in the pits now. That puts Russell up into second place. Verstappen still leads. Perez is now in third at the moment. He's running on medium tire. Albon fourth. Piastri fifth. Norris sixth. Zhou gets ahead of Norris there, so that's Zhou up into 6th and Norris now down into 7th. But I think he'll make short work of catching up to him here on his fresh medium tires, and these are brand new medium tires they put on Norris here. And trying down the inside. Here's Piastri on Albon. No, he won't get him this time. Maybe around the outside here. No. Yeah, surprising a little bit. Kibby says, I miss the Bridgestones. Ah, yes, the Bridgestones. Bridgestone, yes, Michelin and Bridgestone. That's right. Was it Michelin and Bridgestone? And Goodyear was there for a while as well, so that's why I'm getting a little bit confused. But I think it was Michelin had the issue in Indianapolis, and then it was the 6 Bridgestone runners, which was 2 Ferraris, 2 Jordans, and I think it was the 2 Minardis as the other 2 cars. So big excitement in Ireland because, of course, a Jordan finished on the podium and they were really off the pace that year. Luis says, thank you for doing this. Thank you for joining us. That's what I say. Thank you for joining us. And here now, Piastri finally gets the move done on Albon. And that puts Piastri now up into 4th place. But Albon doesn't look like he wants to let it go yet. He's going to try and fight back here. Can Piastri pull away from him a bit? Both, of course, running with the Mercedes engines. It does look like Piastri is just a little bit more slippery in the corners, which is what you would expect. Okay, they're just telling George Russell now that they're looking at a possible P4 for the race and keep on top of the track limits. And that's a very good point. So as much as Kimi is saying it could come down to how long the pit stops take, it could also come down to not getting penalties because I think a lot of cars are going to get penalties. We've already seen that Perez has a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits, and I know somebody else has definitely gotten a black and white flag already. And just as I say, Gasly now gets a black and white flag as well. Ooh. Ooh. Who else got a black and white flag? I need to just go back through the history and see a black and white flag for Albon. So it's Albon also has a black and white flag. So Albon, Gasly and Perez all had black and white flags, and Perez now has gotten a penalty for exceeding track limits. 5-second penalty for Perez. So I don't think it'll be the last penalty. Fastest lap here for Piastri. Piastri is back and racing here. And he's running behind Perez at the moment. So he's about 5.4 seconds behind Perez. But Perez has only made 1 pit stop so far, whereas Piastri has made 2. Verstappen is still on the 1 pit stop as well. Russell, of course, has stopped twice, but it's a little bit confusing because he stopped for the safety car. He had damage. He did change his tires, but I don't think that will count as a mandated stop. It's hard to know, to be honest. It's hard to know because it's all fresh this weekend. Oh, Verstappen. Next pit stop no later than lap 34. Okay, so that's good to know. Yeah. Putting all the pieces together here. I think it's basically what Kimi is saying. It's 18 laps on their tires, and they have to change them. Wow, they're telling Verstappen he needs to pick up the pace, and he's he's surprised. He's confused. He's like, what? Yeah, he needs to pick up the pace. I wonder what are they worried about here? What are they worried about exactly? There's nobody running too close to him. Russell is 22 seconds, so Russell would be leading the race if Verstappen were to pit right now, but that should be manageable. And then Leclerc on Stroll. Oh, Stroll is fighting him back here, holding onto my seat. Yeah, Leclerc gets the move done. That's for 10th. 10th place. Oh, that one was a little bit nervy. Stroll is up to 11th though. Speaking of Stroll, where's Alonso? Alonso now is in 8th place, and he's 8/10 of a second behind Zhou. So he's looking very much at 7th. They might show us a shot of that now. We're still looking at Leclerc. Leclerc actually closing in now on Bottas. Well, that's 2 seconds they're saying the gap. It looked much closer on the track there, but that can be all about perspective. Yeah, 2 seconds is probably about right. This is Perez now. Perez is into the pits. Didn't hear any update on Alonso's seat, which is apparently on fire. We're not on fire. It says it's very, very hot. Oh, yes, I was about to say, is Perez out of the race? No, they're making him take his 5-second penalty, and then they have changed the tires. So he has served the penalty, so that won't be added on after the race, which is that's the way I like it. At least it's everything is played out on track. And that's Albon is in the pits as well. Hopefully he's happier with the tires he's put on this time. And so Albon has changed onto the hard tires, I think. Looks like white wall tires, yes. And he's now going to be battling with an AlphaTauri here. It's Tsunoda. He's just behind Magnussen. So he's come out in 14th place and confirmed it's the hard tires that he is on. Magnussen is also on the hard tires. Gasly, Ocon, Stroll, Leclerc, Bottas, Zhou, and Alonso all on the hard tires as well. And then we have Piastri, Norris, Russell, and Verstappen running on the medium tires. And I think Russell, Verstappen, and Zhou still have to pit here. They still have to pit, so we'll be awaiting them to come in anytime now. Actually, Russell is in now. He's in. Piastri drives past the pit straight, so he gets him. As does Norris. Yeah, Norris should have him as well. And a fastest lap for Norris as he comes past. So he's really in a rush. Well, Norris actually has his eyes on his teammate here. He's 4.9 seconds behind his teammate. I tell you, Norris will not enjoy being beaten by his teammate this weekend. Really won't. Look, it hasn't escaped my attention. Norris still doesn't have a win for McLaren. Ricciardo has a win. A yellow flag. Oh, it's Alonso. What's going on there? Clearly the seat got a little bit too hot for him. I say that in jest. We need to see what actually happened there. I saw the yellow flag pop up and knew there was something awry. But Alonso needed to take a bit of a shortcut there. Hopefully we can get a replay of this soon. But that drops Alonso now down to... Well, he's still running in 7th. Bottas 0.3 of a second behind him. Verstappen has been told to box, so he'll be in soon. Ooh, no idea what was going on there. No idea. Now, here's a replay. On board here with Alonso. Oh, he just lost the back of the car. He just had to straighten it up and took a shortcut through the gravel. But look at that. He remained cool, calm and collected despite his seat. and kept the car running, didn't allow himself to get beached in the gravel. So that's where his experience really comes into play, and the way he pulled out in front of the Ferrari. Now, that could be investigated. That could be investigated. That was an unsafe way to rejoin the track. Right out in front of Leclerc. Haven't heard any team radio on this one yet, but I would not be surprised if Leclerc makes a complaint about this. Oscar Piastri team radio coming up.
And Oscar, these tyres can get us to lap 43.
Lap 43. All right. Medium tires again, of course, for these McLarens at the moment. And McLaren going medium all the way. So they will have to change onto a different compound before the end of the race. So will they save the hard tires for the end? Fascinating, actually, just to see, because I think a lot of cars are going to end up on different tire strategies here. Verstappen is into the pits as well. And just watching now Piastri coming around here on the tracker. I don't think Piastri gets close to him, to be honest. Verstappen just leaving the pits now. And he's back out onto the racetrack, so he retains his lead. It's 8.9 seconds, 8.1 seconds actually. So 8-second lead then for Verstappen. 7.3 seconds now. It's dropped a little bit. This always happens, fluctuates a little bit. He has to get up to temperature. And here's Russell on one of the Alphas. It's on Joe, and he gets the move done. And that's Russell up into fourth. So Russell's actually doing quite well now. Team radio for Logan Sargent. Last time I tried to listen to Logan Sargent, it didn't work. So let's try again.
Well, I'm not feeling well at all.
Okay.
Logan, you fought a brave day, but let's bring it in and call it a day. Let's look after you.
James, I promise you I can do this.
All right, I'll leave it to you, buddy.
You have my word.
Go for it.
Oh, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why do they want Sargent to retire from the race? It can't be because he's out of the points. You know, the Williams are generally running out of the points. To be harsh, but it's true. It's strange. It's very strange. But he says he's going to drive on. Maybe they have an issue of some sort. Can't quite figure that one out at all. So I can't. So the FIA are investigating the turn 2 incident involving car 14, which of course is Alonso's car, for rejoining unsafely. Okay, I'm not surprised to hear that. I think he's going to get a 5-second penalty for that, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, because it was very clear. Very, very clear. Russell has the fastest lap as well. He's put in the fastest lap there. Oh. Stroll and Ocon battling there. Oh, Stroll won't be happy about that. I don't think he was left with too much space there. Not a lot of space at all. Now we have a team radio for Gasly.
Yeah, we're having issues with that, mate.
Sargent said something about feeling sick, but I didn't hear exactly what he said. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense as well. Because he was talking about, he promised that he would try to get to the end of the race, and maybe Williams are worried that if he has a moment or he's not fully concentrating, he may in fact end up binning the car, which is the last thing they want. Makes a lot of sense. I'm going to go with that theory, Kimmy. I'm going to go with that one. Mafa says Mr. 6. Not sure what that is about. Not sure. You know, sometimes you say something, you're wondering if you've been tricked. I'm not feeling it for this one. Max Verstappen team radio.
So it'll be a stint of 12 laps max and a stint of 11 laps if we split them equally.
Okay. Okay, a little bit of mathematics on the Red Bull side. Perez is under investigation for track limits again. Sergio Perez, no smoke without fire though. They wouldn't be investigating it if they didn't think they had something. So we'll find out. Stroll has had his lap time deleted for exceeding track limits. Not a surprise, actually just saw a replay of that. He really went over the curb very hard. I'd be more worried about the car there than the track limits, to be honest. I can't imagine he gained much of an advantage in doing that, but whatever. Perez has his lap time deleted for track limits, and that's probably why he's gotten that. Incident involving Perez noted track limits. Alright, Perez is in big trouble here with the track limits, so he is big trouble. Speaking of Perez, where the heck is he at the moment? He's in 11th. What are you doing back there, Sergio? You have the best car in the track. What are you doing? I suppose it doesn't help if you keep getting 5-second penalties. If he didn't have that 5-second penalty, he would be probably right behind Alonso now. So, yeah, he hasn't helped himself. So that would put him up a good 4 positions at least. A good 4 positions. Piastri 7.1 seconds behind Verstappen. So that gap is remaining pretty constant. Perez is under investigation. They have to keep showing us track limits. Keep showing us the same message over and over again. Unfortunately, it's now confirmed Perez has another 5-second penalty. You'd have to wonder, how many 5-second penalties can a person accumulate in this race without getting a more substantial penalty? You know, you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Think yellow cards in soccer or rugby, for example. But there you go. Okay, another 5-second penalty for Sergio Perez. Now, I'll tell you, when we're going to do driver of the day today, I don't think Perez is getting driver of the day somehow. Don't think it's going to be him. We're already on lap 39, so we have less than 20 laps left to go here. And you know what? It's all these pit stops has broken it up so well. You can hardly keep track of who is running where at this moment in time. Lando Norris, team radio.
Lando, opportunity, turn 4, focus on exit, mind late entry speed, and how's the balance?
Okay, so a little bit of coaching and how's the balance? All right. Well, yeah, if he can optimize that exit, he's doing pretty good laps at the moment as well. A 126.0 last time around. His teammate did a 126.4. He's 3.6 seconds behind his teammate now. Actually, Russell did a 126.0 as well. Leclerc 126.8, a 127.1 for Alonso, 127.2 for Ocon, a 129.3 for Bottas. So Bottas not going fast at the moment. Oh, Red Bull must be losing their patience with Perez. Let me get into a little bit of speculation on Perez after we listen to this team radio.
It's another 5-second penalty for track limits. This is hurting our race.
FIA Stewart's 5-second time penalty for car 11 Perez. So I'm confused now. Is this another 5-second penalty? So this is his third 5-second penalty. I have a feeling it is. I think this is his third penalty. He's taken one so far, so he has a grand total of 10 seconds left to take here. Grand total of 10 seconds. I'll see if I can get some clarity on this, but it's not looking good for Perez at this moment in time. That's horrific. That's horrific. So I said I'd get into a little bit of speculation on good old Sergio Perez. So I think actually for Perez, it's really bad news that Liam Lawson is going to be the backup driver for Red Bull next year, because I think they could switch him straight in. Because if you think about it, here's my logic. Okay, here's my logic. And look, everybody, please add your thoughts on this, because this is by no means written in concrete. But my logic is they wouldn't send Perez to the AlphaTauri because Perez is an older driver. You know, he doesn't really have a future after Red Bull. Perhaps, you know, he'll end up driving in an Alfa Romeo or something like that, but he doesn't have a future in a top team, let's put it that way. So why would they put him into the development team? He's not coming back. You know, he's not a Gasly. He's not a Kvyat, you know, not a young, talented driver. He's an older, talented driver. I'll give him the talent. But unfortunately, I think it's looking bad for him. He could be switched out as the sub-driver himself if he's not careful. Stroll gets a black and white flag now as well. Track limits. Now, here's an onboard with Perez. It's very strange. Is he slowing down, or is the replay slowed down? Don't know about that. Don't know about that at all. Yeah, I'm not able to find out any information on whether or not he has 3 penalties. Any pit stops? No, pretty much the best ones. Blah blah blah. No, I'm not finding any information right now. Yeah, remember when this is a good point, Anne. Remember when they used to make drivers do a pit lane drive-through as a penalty for track limits? Maybe. Yeah, I really liked the drive-through penalties, but they are significant because that's this weekend that would be about a 24-25 second penalty. It's down to the length of it, but you know, it's actually, this is bang on with what I was saying yesterday about doing a penalty loop like they do in MotoGP. So I think a physical penalty that you have to serve on the track like that is definitely the way to go. So I would really love if they implemented either drive-through penalties or this long lap penalty like they have in MotoGP. That's the way to do it. Now, we have a team radio for Leclerc.
And you are driving very well. Good laps.
Oh, strong words here for ET Ranger. We may need to set up a support club actually for but don't get me wrong. I actually really like Perez. I remember when he first showed up in Formula 1 and he was driving for Sauber and they had that really good car. Remember when it was the blown diffusers with the Coanda effect, and Sauber had created a really good car. They got it. It just worked. And he was battling with Alonso. Alonso was driving for Ferrari. I think it was for a race win in Malaysia or something like that. So, yeah, he's always been a very good driver. But, yeah, it's not going well here. So, ET says, I've been a fan of Perez since he joined Red Bull. Staying inside of the track limit seems basic. I feel abused and I'm giving up on him. Oh, gosh. Well, it does seem basic. You know, when you add to his fan club now the fact that Stroll gets a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits. Oh, it's all happening here. It's all happening here. Okay. Oh my God. No, you're not going to believe this. Okay. 5-second penalty for Gasly exceeding track limits. Another 5-second penalty for Gasly exceeding track limits. Another 5-second penalty for Gasly. 5 seconds. Okay. So there's something wrong here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 5-second penalties for Gasly. No. There must be something wrong with this. Norris is catching Oscar. Alrighty. It is down to... Okay, well, Piastri's just pitted. So it's very hard to tell right now. What tire has he put on? It's the hard tire. Okay, so it is hard tire for the final stint. I was thinking probably couldn't be the soft tire. So hard tire for final stint, and Leclerc has pitted as well. And it looks like it's a worn hard tire for Leclerc. Is that right? We'll find out in a second. It may change. No, it's a fresh medium tire for Leclerc. Okay, so that's a nice fast one. Now, Perez is in the pits. 7.9 seconds. So that's only 1 5-second penalty that he's taken. Very hard to tell because FIA are... Okay. Well, they've fixed it for Gasly, and they're only putting up the 5-second penalty once, not 7 times. Okay. I was thinking there was something wrong with that. So Stroll and Gasly both now receiving a 5-second penalty. I'm going to guess that Perez only got 1 additional 5-second penalty and not 2 additional 5-second penalties. And it's just the FIA that are keep spamming us with the same post over and over again. Perez is in to serve his penalty. Piastri has also pitted, and so has Norris, Alonso, and Gasly. Let's see how this shakes out. That's a tweet coming in from Red Bull. Red Bull, you're very interested in how everybody else is doing. What about yourselves? Well, fastest lap for Max Verstappen. Piastri just ahead of his teammate now. Just ahead of him, but he's on the colder tyres, so this is a big chance here for Norris. Got to keep an eye on this. Alonso is also into the pits. I didn't see them take out any hoses and cover him in cold water there either. So maybe the issue has been resolved. It's 1.8 seconds now, the gap between Piastri and Norris. So Piastri has pulled away slightly. And Alonso then comes out behind Zhou. Didn't hear of any penalty at all for Alonso for unsafe rejoining of the track. Sergio Perez, team radio.
5-second penalty, bring the car to stop as quickly as possible.
Oof, they sound annoyed with him, don't they? Yeah, coming back to ET Rangers post, I don't get it. I don't get it. Perez has, the best car on the circuit. So we've been led to believe. Wow, okay, there's Logan Sargent, he's retired. Yeah, he didn't look good getting out of the car there. So, yeah, I guess he is sick. Now Perez is running in front of his teammate. No, he's not anymore. He's behind his teammate now. Being lapped there. And I think that says it all, really, doesn't it? That says it all. He has been lapped by his teammate. He's down in 12th. Something seriously wrong there. Will Perez even make it to next season in the Red Bull? He needs to... So we have 5 more races to go after this race, so I would be hopeful that he can pull back something in that time, but it's not looking good for him. And Norris has put in his fastest lap as well. Well, Piastri now has hit back with the fastest lap. And that gives him an interval of 2.3 seconds then over his teammate. And he's 11 seconds behind Russell. But Russell will have to pit one more time, I suspect. Of course, Verstappen has to pit one more time. Verstappen then has a gap of about 36 seconds over Piastri. So, yeah. We need something to go wrong with the Red Bull to give Piastri a chance here. Okay, Norris has been told, team orders, holding position. They're going to hold position. Let's listen to this.
And Lando, we're going to hold position, bring it home.
Why do you want to do that? We have a big gap. I'm clearly a lot quicker.
Singing response there. Very musical, Lando. I think the team have spoken, though. I would like to see if they come back to him with a response on that one. ET says, yeah, he has been second in the Drivers' Championship all season, but he is blowing it now. Really sad. But the only good news for him, so he is outside of the points, but the good news for him is that Hamilton, who of course is battling him for second in the championship, is out of the race. So he's also getting 0 points. So that works in his favour. And Alonso, yeah, I don't think Alonso is going to catch either Hamilton or Perez. Just they haven't been able to develop that Aston Martin at the same speed as the other teams. And there is a Mexican race, October 29th for Perez, Hazan. Well, yes, now that should be the motivation he needs. He should really be able to get himself motivated for the Mexican Grand Prix. And that's one I'd love to see Perez win the Mexican Grand Prix. Oh my God, I tell you, the party if he won the Mexican Grand Prix, that would be awesome. That, you know, talking about my predictions and everything else, my wish for the Mexican Grand Prix, of course, will be for Perez to win it. It could be his last season in Formula 1. It could be his last season for Red Bull. Or, you know, maybe he'll have another opportunity next year. But you can never tell in Formula 1. That's the thing. You can never tell. Oh, if I've learnt one lesson over the years, don't get too used to any drivers, because it can be over very, very quickly. And I don't mean that they can have a serious crash or anything like that. But I mean, you know, like I'm a big fan of Daniel Ricciardo, and he was gone out of Formula 1, and you know, he's back, but he's kind of gone again. It's a bit tough. It's a bit tough if you're a Daniel Ricciardo fan. Then of course they get old and retire as well. There's going to be a lot of very sad Lewis Hamilton fans I guess in 2 years. I think he's taken a 2-year contract extension, so I do expect he'll stick around for those 2 years. Does he have a chance to win one more world title? He could have. Albon, 5-second penalty as well. So all these penalties are starting to add up for everyone. All these penalties starting to add up. I do fully expect Perez to take second in the championship, and well, I'll be very disappointed if Red Bull don't help him get second in the championship. I know towards the end of last season it got a little bit tricky with incident involving Albon under investigation for track limits. This is what confuses me so much. They're investigating incidents as soon as they hand out a penalty, and Albon, now they put it up again that Albon has a 5-second penalty, and this is why I sometimes feel like, you know, is it 1 penalty or 2 penalties? But speaking of Perez, I'd be very disappointed if Red Bull don't somehow try to help him to get second in the championship. I know last year Verstappen refused to help him, and that in itself was weird, and you know, led to a lot of speculation. Even myself, I was speculating that his days were numbered at Red Bull, yet here he is. So the dominance of the car, I guess, allows him to get away with some of this. But also the dominance of the car is what puts this scrutiny on him as well. To be running in 12th place, the best car in the grid, whilst your teammate is running away with the race and has lapped you, that's a tough one to take. Speaking of Verstappen, 25.5 seconds ahead of Russell, who's running in second. Russell will pit again. I see Piastri and Norris now are coming around to lap Lawson. Lawson's running in last, so he has not been impressive at all this weekend. He retired from yesterday's race, and he's running in last effectively on the circuit at the moment. In today's race, hasn't been ideal for him at all. Any predictions for the fastest lap today? How about a poll? I can do that. That I can do. Fastest lap today. You know, if Verstappen gets that gap that he needs, it could be him, which will be a sad state of affairs. Start a poll. Who? I need to spell that correctly. Well, yes. Just lap today. So Verstappen, Piastri, and this is where that's not how you spell Piastri, Norris. I want to make Russell the fourth option, but I have to make it other since we only have 4. Yeah. I would like I would put Russell in with a shout of it as well. So Norris has the fastest lap at the moment, just as the poll goes live. We also need to start thinking about who's our driver of the day. Now, if we look at the stats, yes, the stats on the screen at the moment, Norris is up 7 places from the start of the race. Zhou up 13 places from the start of the race. So he's the big winner today. Can he hold on to 6th place? 6th place would be a fantastic achievement for the Alfa Romeo, by the way. I really think so. Verstappen, fastest lap, Kimi says. He hasn't taken his final pit stop yet. I still think he could be putting on the soft tires. Oh, speak of the devil, he's into the pits now. Here comes Verstappen. Kimi also says it sucks to be Max's teammate. Yeah, it does suck to be Max's teammate. Talk about a poison chalice. Nobody wants that. Okay, so it's a medium tire they put on, but that's fine because he has been running on the hard tires, so he has used 2 compounds. Are they fresh tires? That's what I keep. Yeah, brand new medium tires. Now it's on. Fastest lap here for Verstappen could be incoming. He has 5 laps to go, so he can do it here. Brand new, fresh medium tires. Oh, depressing for the rest of the grid, really. And he's already won the World Championship, so he's playing for nothing here apart from breaking all the records. Probably going for the most wins in a season, the most fastest laps in a season. I don't think he'll get the most sprint races in a season. He could still, I suppose. We have 2 more sprint races to go after this weekend. And here's Russell is into the pit. And then Norris in. Yeah, they're all opening their visor to get a little bit of air in there. Russell is on the softs, is he? Ooh. There's always one, isn't there? There's always one. Oh, I think it's Russell versus Verstappen here for the fastest lap. Now. Oh, Nazarene, thank you very much for that. Yes, I'm sure we all appreciate that link. Very, very good. I do not condone this. And the battle here between Stroll and Gasly. And Gasly basically had to drive off the circuit to get past him. And we see the team radio come up here for Gasly.
Do I need to give the position back or not?
Yeah, does he need to give the position back because he was off circuit when he took the position, but he was pushed off circuit. He wasn't left any space. That's an interesting one. Interesting. All right, Gasly has the move here. He's going around the outside. I think give the space back. I wouldn't say necessarily that Stroll pushed him off. Turn 1 incident involving cars 10 and 18. So Gasly and Stroll noted, leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Okay. Well, I think give back the position, please. Give back the position. Verstappen is 3.8 seconds ahead of Piastri here. So we've suddenly got a race. How did this happen? 1.8 seconds is the gap between Norris and Piastri, but of course Norris has been told, don't bother trying to overtake your teammate. We're going to hold position. Didn't hear any more on that since that order was given out. And the poll at the moment, we're 50% Verstappen, 50% Piastri. Stroll, Gasly just got taken by both Stroll and Perez there. Now Perez is going to try and get past Stroll. No, still can't get the move done. Bottas is okay, let's do a rundown. Lawson is in 17th, Hülkenberg 16th, Tsunoda 15th, Magnussen 14th, Albon 13th, Zhou 12th, Gasly is in 11th, Perez is in 10th, so Perez is in the points. 9th place then is Stroll, 8th is Bottas, 7th is Ocon, 6th is Alonso, 5th is Leclerc, 4th is Russell, 3rd is Norris, 2nd is Piastri, and 1st place is Verstappen. Stroll gets a track limits warning again. Stroll is under investigation for track limits. Is this going to be another 5-second penalty? Tweet from Lewis Hamilton. I've watched the replay and it was 100% my fault and I take full responsibility. Apologies to the team and to George. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow. Fair play to you, Lewis. That's all I can say. Fair play to you on taking responsibility for that. It was clearly his fault. And maybe he realized there was no point hiding behind it. But yeah, no, fair play. Look here. Here is the tweet. I'll show it to you just there. You can see it. Lewis there with the greenish hat. I've watched the replay and it was 100% my fault. Okay. Regardless, that's neither here nor there at the moment. Had to refresh my page. The poll did not show. Oh, strange. Very, very strange. Poll should be still live though. Yeah, 67% now saying Verstappen to get the fastest lap. It's still Norris though that has the fastest lap. Let's have a look at the sector times from Russell. Not doing anything particularly special at the moment. And the sector times then for Verstappen, well, his first sector isn't too hot. Second sector not too hot either, so no. Joe has pitted again, so he's only up 7 positions now, so maybe not quite driver of the day. Look at this, Perez running in 10th. He's up 10 positions, but he is in the best car on the track. So as I said, with all the penalties and everything he received as well, I cannot bring myself to nominate him as driver of the day. So my driver of the day still, Verstappen is in with a shout. Piastri certainly in with a shout. Norris also in with a shout. Norris is up 7 positions from the start. Let's see, Russell has had a great recovery drive considering. That's a fantastic drive, considering the damage he took in the collision with his teammate at the first corner. Leclerc, 5th place. Started in 5th, finishing in 5th. Alonso hasn't had a great race. Ocon, Bottas and Stroll is up 7 places. I can't bring myself to give Stroll driver of the day somehow. He'd need to finish on the podium for me to even consider him. Yeah, I'm going Norris because I think Norris has the speed of his teammate as well. He's been told not to do it. I don't know. I might reserve that for Russell. Let me know what you think. Who is going to be your driver of the day? Black and white flag for Russell. Track limits. George, don't do that. I can't give you driver of the day if you get a penalty. Piastri has backed off and seems to be nursing his tyres. Norris will have DRS on the final lap now. Well, yeah, except he's been told not to overtake his teammate. So maybe not. Maybe not. But we're on lap 56 already out of 57. Gasly gets a track limits warning. Black and white flag for Russell. Anyhow, 1.1 seconds now is the gap between Piastri and Norris. So I think Verstappen is going to win this one. Piastri has given up. Yeah, I'm sure the camera will cut to him shortly now and we'll see him come around to take this race. Where is he now? Can't find it. Yes, Verstappen is coming around turn 5 at the moment into turn 6. He's actually going to lap Magnussen more than likely before the end. Consolation prize for Norris, driver of the day. I reckon Norris will probably get it. Yeah, Norris won't be happy though. Yeah, okay, podium finish, but behind his teammate. Again, second race in a row behind his teammate. Perez has had another lap deleted. And another 5-second penalty for Gasly. Oh, these 5-second penalties for the track limits. We need to do something about this. Bottas is in 8th. Yes, Kimi, that is good. I say anytime the Alfa Romeos get into the points, it's a good result for them. And he's pretty solid as well. He's 5 seconds ahead of Stroll, so he is going to get a good points haul. Here comes Verstappen, and he wins. He wins. Fastest lap for Verstappen. You got it, Anne. Although, let's see now. Let's see if Russell comes right. No, Russell ain't going to do it. He's setting slow sectors. Leclerc, though, is setting his fastest sectors. So here's the outlier now. Can Leclerc do it? Guan Yu Zhou, yes, is 10th. What happened to Stroll? What happened to Stroll? I can't see Zhou on the tracker. He's behind Perez. Stroll is still showing as ahead of Gasly on the tracker, but behind Zhou on both Gasly and... Oh, that's weird. Okay. Leclerc sets his fastest lap, but not the fastest lap of the race, so Verstappen gets it. Congrats, Anne. You're spot on. You're spot on. You know your Formula 1, that's for sure. And Stroll and Gasly come around. Yeah, something weird going on there. It must be the penalties. They're adding up the time penalties. That's what's happening here. And you see, that's why it's so strange. That's why it's so strange. So yes, confirmed then. Guan Yu Zhou is 10th, Perez is 9th, Bottas 8th, Ocon 7th, Alonso 6th, Leclerc 5th, Russell 4th, Norris 3rd, Piastri 2nd, and Verstappen 1st. The official Formula 1 driver of the day is Oscar Piastri, but I'm going to give it to Norris. I think Norris was my driver of the day today. He had the speed of his teammate as well, and he was told not to engage. So there you go. Team radio then for Max Verstappen, and I'm sure this was simply lovely today.
Well done, Max. So that was fit for a champion. Well done. Really quality drive. Well managed. Well, Max, that is, as GP says, that was a proper quality drive. So we just wanted to cover off all eventualities at the end there. So great drive.
Yeah, good win. Yeah, it was a bit close for comfort, I think, that last stint, but race was okay. Another win. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, you got the 3. Pole, fastest lap and the win. Well done.
Yeah, I don't know how it was so close at the end. I need to go back and have a look at that. Because when he came out after his final pit stop, he was about 3 seconds ahead of Piastri. And that took me by surprise. Because my calculations were that he was 36 seconds ahead of Piastri at one point. Take away 25, 29. That would be about 7-second lead coming out of the pits. But it was 3 seconds. So maybe there was an issue in the pit stop that I didn't notice. I don't know. That's a strange one. Double points finish then for Alfa Romeo. Good for them. Very, very good for them. That's exactly what they needed. I wonder what that does to their constructors standing. Alfa Romeo are in 8th at the moment. Yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure. So Lewis asks, what is a penalty for Alonso? They never said anything about any resolution. Yeah, they never mentioned that at all. He was investigated for the unsafe return to the track. And no, it was never a factor as far as I can tell. Never a factor at all. US Grand Prix is up next as well, Suzanne. Yeah, that's where the excitement kicks in now. Speaking of the US Grand Prix, so I need to go and check the Formula 1 schedule and just see exactly what we're up against here. So, yes, it is the United States Grand Prix next, so that will be the one in Texas, right? Yes, I believe it is. Yes, so Texas is the official United States Grand Prix. And then we have Mexico after that, and then Brazil. Oh, I love the Brazilian Grand Prix. That's always good. Such a short circuit, but it's a classic, challenging, high-speed circuit. Brilliant, brilliant circuit. Sometimes rains there as well. And then we have the United States again with the Las Vegas Grand Prix on the 16th to the 18th of November. And then we finish off in Abu Dhabi, as we usually do. So what date are we today? The 8th of October. And then The 22nd of October is the next race. So we have a gap of 2 weeks to the next one. Oh, I was kind of expecting that they were going to have a race next weekend. But we have 3 weekends in a row then. We have the United States, the next week we have Mexico, and the next week we have Brazil. So that will be 3 in a row. So I was kind of expecting it to be a 2 with a 2-week gap and another 2 with a 2-week gap. But no, they're going to give us 3 in a row. So that's going to be a bumper few weeks. Possibly 3 more wins for Max Verstappen, dare I say it. But you'd never know. You'd never know. Let me see. Conor Moore's impressions of Formula 1 drivers and team bosses is amusing for anyone that hasn't seen him yet. Yeah, he is hilarious. He's very, very good. He does a very good Max Verstappen, but the Carlos Sainz impression, that one is unbelievable. It's so good. Smooth operator with a Spanish accent, of course. I can't quite do it. Lots of time to get the rugby over with. Oh gosh, yes. I tell you, New Zealand versus Ireland. I'm scared about that one. I'm scared. You know, you just can never write off the All Blacks. That's the problem. You can never write them off. But at the same time, bring it on. Bring it on. And keep an eye on Wales as well, going under the radar. They could end up in the semi-final or final before we know it as well. Alrighty. Let's leave it there for now. Good race. Good race. It's a shame about all the penalties. What? Another 5-second penalty for Perez, I'm seeing. Which drops him to 10th place. So Guan Yu Zhou now is in 9th. Oh, like brilliant for Zhou, but more penalties. More penalties. Unbelievable. Unbelievable with the penalties. Yeah, Kimi, you raise a great point about Conor Moore's impressions, and I may see if I can link some of those on social media for anybody that hasn't seen them, but they're hilarious. They're spot on. And, you know, he's Irish as well, so of course, I'm all for that. I'm all for it. Okay, thanks everybody for joining. I will speak to you in 2 weeks by the looks of it. Have a great rest of your weekend, whatever is left. I hope tomorrow morning isn't too bumpy for you, Kimmy. That's dedication to the cause, if anything. Thanks, everybody. Speak to you soon.